Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Thomas, an automation advisor. Today, I will show you how to monitor an SFTP server for new files, then download and process them automatically on Windows. For this demo, I will use Fabati Automation Workshop. Automation Workshop is a no-code tool for automating Windows tasks, removing the need for manual work. We will begin by creating an automated task. Tasks are built with the Task Creation Wizard, which walks you through every step. It is fast, simple, and requires no programming knowledge. Our goal is to have the workflow start as soon as a new file appears in a specific folder on the remote SFTP server. Workflows that run automatically need a trigger. Let's add one. Automation Workshop provides many triggers. You can schedule tasks, monitor Windows services or applications, and more. For this case, we will use the SFTP Watcher trigger. I am specifying a directory to watch on the remote SFTP server. And we will limit monitoring to PDF files. In the Conditions tab, you can define what changes to detect. The SFTP Watcher can track new files, file counts, sizes, and more. For this demo, I will choose Watch for new and existing files. If I left the default Watch for new files, then files already present when the trigger starts would be ignored. Click OK to add the trigger. Since server details are not defined yet, Automation Workshop asks for them now. Click OK. Enter the server name. Normally, you would use an SSH private key. But here I will use username and password. By default, the password is visible to allow dynamic values, but I will enable password masking. Click OK. The trigger is set up. It will start the workflow whenever a new or existing file appears in the Watch directory. Actions are the basic building blocks of a workflow and are responsible for carrying out tasks, such as downloading a file or printing a document. One action already exists with the SFTP server details we just entered. Let's add another action. We need an action to download a file from the SFTP server. All SFTP actions are under FTP and Cloud. Let's add it to our workflow. We need to provide the file name on the remote server that we want to download. Since we don't know the exact name in advance, I will use the variable wizard. The variable wizard already suggests using full path and file name. returned by our SFTP Watcher. This value always matches the file name on the server that meets our specified criteria. In our case, it will be a new or existing PDF file. Next, let's specify where the files should be saved on the local disk. I will use the My Files folder as an example. Click OK to add this action to our task. Now let's say I need to process the newly downloaded file with our business application. Click Add to insert another action. You can start typing in the search box and relevant actions will be filtered automatically. For example, when I type Start, it shows all actions related to starting something. Since we want to run our business app, we will use the Start App action. To launch standard applications, you can click this Start Menu Style button, which opens a menu similar to the Windows Start menu, where you can choose any installed app. But for this demo, I will type the path to our application manually. For our app to process a PDF file, we need to pass it as a parameter. I will use the variable wizard again. I could reuse the same variable from our trigger. But this is a good chance to show the flexibility of the variable wizard. The download file action we just added provides multiple values, including the full path and file name of the local file we saved, as well as the original remote file name. In our case, each list will always contain only one file, since we are always passing a single file name from the trigger. This ensures files are processed one by one. Most applications work with local files, and ours is no exception, so I will select the local file option. Click OK to add this action to our task. Let's recap. When our trigger finds a file, the workflow connects to the SFTP server, downloads the file, and passes it to our business app for processing. To streamline the process further, I will show how to move the processed file into an archive folder on the same SFTP server. As a bonus, the archive will be organized by year and month, giving you a clean folder structure where documents are automatically sorted. First, we need to create the target directory on the SFTP server, but it may already exist from a previous workflow run. In such cases, it is best to use an ensure action. Here, we will use ensure remote directory. This action verifies and ensures whether a directory exists or doesn't. Since we always want this directory available, I will keep the option set to exists. We will store archived files under the invoices folder. Hard-coding year and month values would not work long-term, since they change every month. So, I will open the variable wizard and select the date and time category. Using date components, we can build a directory name dynamically. First, I will insert the current year. Then I will type a dash as a separator. Next, I will add the current month. To keep folders aligned correctly, I will enable Add Leading 0 so the month always shows as 2 digits. Each time the task runs, it will automatically insert the current year and month into the directory path. Now let's add the action to move the processed file to the archive. We will use Move Remote File, which transfers one or more files between directories. For the source, I will again use the variable wizard to select the trigger's full path and file name, which matches the discovered file. For the destination, I want to point to the same year-month directory we just created. I could rebuild that path again with the variable wizard, but that would duplicate logic and make the workflow harder to maintain. Let me remove this. Instead, I will use variable wizard. Under Actions, I will use the last directory value provided by the ensure remote directory action, which gives us exactly the directory we constructed earlier. Our workflow is now complete. It connects to the specified SFTP server, downloads a PDF file, sends it to the business app for processing, ensures the archive folder exists, and then moves the file into the archive. The next step is optional. By default, when a task finishes, Automation Workshop automatically disconnects from the SFTP server to release resources. However, in larger workflows, where you may run many local actions, while remote actions are no longer needed, it is good practice to explicitly close the connection. The close connection action does that. Click Next to finish creating the task. Adjust additional settings as necessary. As the final step, give it a recognizable name. I will call it Auto Download Invoices. Once you click Finish, the SFTP Watcher trigger connects to the server and begins monitoring for new or existing files. It also displays useful status information. At the moment, the server has no PDF files. I have just added one PDF file. The trigger immediately detected the new file. By default, it waits briefly to ensure the file is fully written before processing. The workflow executed successfully. It downloaded the file, launched our business app that processed the file, and returned exit code 0, which usually indicates success for command line apps. It also ensured the archive directory, moved the file into it, and closed the server connection. As you can see, automating repetitive tasks is straightforward and highly reliable. Finally, this workflow can easily be extended. For example, you can change the default printer in Windows. Here I have selected a Canon printer, and then use the print file action to print PDF invoices completely automatically. If you have not yet downloaded Automation Workshop, please do so via one of the links below in the description. No registration is required, and it takes only a minute to try Automation Workshop. I hope you find this useful, and thanks for watching. Till the next time.